Hey everyone, Big Pauly back for another episode of my Complete Blu-ray Collection. Yes, we've done 2 tubs and a shelf, and a partridge in a pear tree. We are now on shelf 2. Just going to go through everything I've got. Shelf 2 and shelf 3 are 4K shelves, so this is the whole of the 4K collection, other than other ones spread around, which I'll get to later. But first up, let's have a look, see what we've got on the shelf 2. Okay, so shelf 2 starts off with Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And this is a massive box, which I managed to pick up very cheaply for about £20. And there's a little button on the side here. It does look much better in the dark because all this lights up. This is a nice lenticular. And on the back, really nice. We've got the lights there. It's a shame all the lights don't dance around. But the top comes off. And then you have the 4K Close Encounters inside. And also a book as well. So you might still be able to pick this up. I think I picked this up from... I think it was, I can't actually remember where I picked it up from, but it was 20 quid-ish. Anyway, so yes, that's Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Next up, we have a really good action film starring Sasha Luss and Luke Evans, Cillian Murphy and Helen Mirren. And this is Anna. And this really surprised me. I believe this is a Luc Besson film, I think. Yeah, written and directed by Luc Besson. This felt like a female John Wick. She was absolutely brilliant doing all these martial arts moves and assassin moves. It's a kind of like John Wick meets Lucy meets Hannah meets Nikita. A revenge movie. Next up, we have Apocalypse Now in 4K. Haven't seen this yet. This is actually in the flick bin, so hopefully we'll get to it eventually. Francis Ford Coppola. This is a 3-disc edition. Includes the 4K Final Cut, Blu-ray Final Cut, and Hearts of Darkness special features apocalypse filmmaking documentary. And I actually think the Hearts of Darkness, I think that was actually released separately, because I got a vague memory of actually seeing that Blu-ray in a Poundland maybe a year or 2 ago. Next up, we have a brilliant film with Natalie Portman from the director of Ex Machina. And that's Annihilation. And this looks absolutely gorgeous in 4K. Really good. Reminds me of The Dome, Stephen King's The Dome TV series. It's this mysterious dome that goes over this town. And these military soldiers have to go inside. And reality inside has been warped. You know, animals have got like 2 heads and, and things don't look as they should. And there's a really, really atmospheric ending to this. It's a really great ending, all set around this this lighthouse. And the audio that you get inside this lighthouse is chilling. Great film. I first watched it on Netflix because it took ages for it to come out in the UK. So I managed to get a 4K import from the US. Next up, we have an absolutely fantastic horror movie. It is a flat out must-see, unmissable. I think I'm going to watch it again soon. I think probably we should have maybe already had the sequel now, but because of things that are going on, it's been pushed back. A Quiet Place. This was fantastic. Emily Blunt and John Krasinski, husband and wife. There were some moments in this were like, oh my God, like walking down the steps, the stairs with the nail and the birth scene. But it's like, absolutely fantastic. Cannot wait for the new film. Going to be there, probably first performance on day one, if we ever get out the house. And I don't want it to go straight to streaming. Okay, fantastic movie from Ron Howard, starring so many people. Bill Paxton, Tom Hanks, Kevin Bacon, Ed Harris, Gary Sinise. Apollo 13. This is a great film. Lots of tension, fantastic music, great effects, edgy as seat. Just an all-round great film. Next up, oh, this brings back memories. Yes, I haven't seen this. This I started to watch at my cinema, and the 3D projector broke after about 5 minutes, and they just gave me a refund, and I never did get to see it at the cinema. This is Alita Battle Angel, and this is the 4K, the 3D and the Blu-ray all in one. They need to do this more with the 4Ks and 3Ds. Don't bother releasing 2 individual releases. Release one package. Even if it means upping the price by a couple of quid, maybe a £5, even a £10. It would be worth picking it up if everything was all in one package. So they did a great job on that. So I'm looking forward to watching that. Hopefully that one will get picked out of the old flick bin at some point. Next up is another great horror film. I had to import this one in 4K. I don't believe the UK actually got a 4K. I might be mistaken. But it came out early in the US anyway. And this is what would happen if Superman came to Earth and decided to go evil. In other words, if he became Zod instead of Clark Kent, you know, Superman. Brightburn. This is really good. I love this. This is kind of like, you could say like, this is kind of like a prequel to Amazon Prime's The Boys. In a way, with him growing up. But yeah, I really enjoyed that film. There's some intense scenes in that as well. Next up, we have a bit of nature, narrated by David Attenborough. Blue Planet 2, Take a Deep Breath. I did lots of that while I was in hospital. Yes, absolutely brilliant, fantastic, very heavy package because it's got multiple discs. But looks absolutely gorgeous in 4K. A bit of Gary Oldman now as Winston Churchill in The Darkest Hour. Really good, gripping film. He definitely deserved that award, that Oscar. Yeah, absolutely incredible. Next up we have Gary Oldman again, in some Bram Stoker's Dracula. And I think I picked this up for about £9.99, I think it was. It was one of those HMV counter ones, you know, like if you buy something else, you can pick that up cheap. But I haven't seen that for many years, so I need to watch that one again. Also picked up The Doors, the final cut 4-disc collector's edition. There was a bit of a misprice with this one. I think this one was priced quite high at like £29, but in my HMV it was in the wrong slot, so I got it for about, I think it was £19.99 or £24.99. So they gave me the 4K at a cheaper price. Nice bit of Deadpool now. Really nice. I love this movie as well as the first film. Don't quite know why we actually got it in a jumbo. I don't know why we got it in a jumbo. There was really no need for a jumbo. I know they call it the super duper cut, but yeah, there really was no need to put it in a jumbo. But it's a nice addition. A bit more Dracula. Never seen this one. I think this is Luke Evans. I'm pretty sure this is Luke Evans. This is Dracula Untold. So I don't know if this is like a different take on the Dracula legend, but I will get to it eventually. Now the greatest Christmas movie of all time, Die Hard. Yes, absolutely fantastic. Best action movie of all time, my opinion. Other people's opinions will be different, but for me, this is the best action movie of all time. Brilliant performance by Bruce Willis and Alan Rickman. You can't say anything more about that. Classic. Next up, we have, let me take it out of its slip, we have Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk 4K. And I have this in a steelbook. I just love the artwork. It also comes with a Blu-ray bonus disc, 4K and a standard Blu-ray. I believe this is probably the French edition. I think this might be the French edition, but either French or German. But really love that film. Really great film. Next up, another film that I haven't seen, but that's no surprise to anyone. Easy Rider. Now, some people would think that that film's called Easy Rider 50. But I take it it's 50 years old. Peter Fonda, Dennis Hopper. Look forward to watching it. Kind of think that it might be like a tame version of Sons of Anarchy. But looking forward to it anyway. Oh, this should be interesting when I get round to actually reviewing this one. The Emoji Movie on 4K. Yes, this was sent to me by Jamie and Katie Powell. Thank you very much, guys. I think they picked it up really cheap in CEX. I think it might have been like £8 or something, but it's worth a go for that, you know, for that price. And it also includes a Hotel Transylvania short as well, so that should be interesting. Next up, we have a really good gripping film, but you need the radiator on when you're watching this film, because otherwise you just feel too cold. Everest. Really good gripping film. Love this film. The only problem, I think, with some of the Paramount or Universal releases is that they never did any slips. This one actually does have a slip. I just haven't had time to seek it out. They seek it here, they seek it there. Where is the slip? He's given me the slip. So there is a slip for that one, but there are a couple of other ones that I'll get to in my collection that don't have slips, mainly Paramount ones. Also got a film by Academy Award winner Nick Park, a bit of his stop motion claymation, whatever you want to call it, Early Man, and this is like done in the same style as the Wallace and Gromit movies. I did enjoy this one. I think there was too much emphasis on the whole football side of it. Not being a football fan, really, I kind of got a little bit bored during those scenes, but it's still a great film with lots of great characters. Yes, here we go for Paramount. Mr. Hanks in Forrest Gump. Unfortunately, there's no slip available for that. They never did come out with a slip for this one. So, unfortunately, because I think it might have been a really nice slip with some maybe gold embossing or silver embossing, and maybe that feather, maybe an embossed feather. Oh dear me. Right, okay, this, I don't know if you can remember back. If not, you'll have to scoot back to my Blu-ray hunting days long ago. Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald. One day I went Blu-ray hunting. I think it was probably a Monday. Didn't even realise that there was a misprice on the shelf in Tesco's down Westwood Cross. Normally this would be like £24.99 or £25, and I think it was marked up at £7. But I never even realised until somebody pointed it out on the playback of the Blu-ray hunt. And I got in the car, I think it was the same night, went straight down to Westwood Cross and then found it still priced at £25. So obviously they found out it was a cock up with the staff, and they put the price back up. But one of my lovely viewers, who I believe works in Tesco's, one of the Tesco stores, also used his club points and actually got this for me. I think it was for some crazy price, like two or three quid or something, maybe even a quid after he used his club points. Because I think he managed to pick it up for £7 and then use his club points as well. So I got this for nothing. So thank you also if you're watching. But I do need to get the first one on 4K now as well. But I don't think I'm going to get it for nothing. But yeah, that was very sweet of them to do that for me. Next up, we have one of Disney's big classics. Let it go, let it go. Yes, you know what it is. Armageddon. Disney's Frozen. Yes, this is the original Disney with Olaf and all the others, Elsa and Anna. And yes, really good. Looks great. Looks fantastic in 4K. Probably Disney's most highest grossing movie of all time, maybe, animated wise. We also have now, recently, Frozen 2, which I never saw in the cinema. I am looking forward to watching this one. I do also have it in 3D, which you'll see on probably around about shelf 5 or 6. And I don't know which one to watch first. I'll probably watch the 3D, but then I'll sort of like compare it to the 4K image-wise. But I am looking forward to seeing that one. I've heard it's not as good as the first one, but still looking forward to actually watching it. Next up, we have one of my guilty pleasures from many moons ago, from the Roland Emmerich phase. This is Godzilla, 1998, I think. This is a great film. A lot of people didn't like this version of Godzilla because they felt he looked too dinosaur-y, that he was too like Tyrannosaurus Rex, kind of. But yeah, it's still a really good action film. Lots of comedy. Matthew Broderick's brilliant in it. Hank Azaria in it. And it's still a great film with a great soundtrack. Next 4K, you better shape up. That's right. I can't believe this is the 40th anniversary edition of Grease. Yes. I don't think they'll actually do a 4K release for Grease 2. Although someone did actually say that they preferred Grease 2 than Grease 1. Can't remember who. But I've never seen Grease 2. But this looks absolutely gorgeous in 4K. That's my second favourite musical of all time now. And here's my first favourite musical of all time. The Greatest Showman. This took me by surprise when I first saw this. When the film came out, Lou and Claire were going on about it like mad. They were playing the soundtrack in the car maybe 10 times a day or something like that. And then I got to see the Greatest Showman, and wow, what a great musical. The difference between this and maybe other musicals that have been out, it's very modern, and the music is modern, so it's got the modern beat, and the music is now, it's in with this era, rather than maybe like the Hills Have Eyes and the Hills Have Eyes. The Hills Are Alive. The Hills Have Eyes is a horror film. The Hills Have Eyes. Oh, that should be an interesting mashup. Yeah, The Greatest Showman. Absolutely love that film. Never got to see it at the cinema, unfortunately. I was too late. Next up, we do have another musical. A classic that, God, how old is this? About 200 years old, I think, or something. This is The Wizard of Oz. Yes. Judy Garland, is it? I think. Judy Garland, yes. So really I should watch this and the film Judy, maybe, maybe watch Judy after this. But I've never actually seen The Wizard of Oz. So I'm looking forward to watching this with all the colour and on 4K. So that should be really interesting. Next up, we have another film that's very much like the Boys TV series, the superheroes. This is Watchmen, and this is the original Zack Snyder film. This is a great film. This is the ultimate cut. I love this, and this has got what's his name? Negan from The Walking Dead. There he is. So yeah, really great film. Great scenery, great special effects. I'd like to see a little less of his blue knob, but you can't have everything. But there is actually a TV series for Watchmen now. I've not seen it, so maybe while I'm in a lockdown, I should start watching the series. What we got next? Dear me. Next we have a Steelbook, which I was quite disappointed when I received this from Zavvi, because they basically bullshitted on their website. This is Le Mans 66, or Ford versus Ferrari if you're in America. And this was made out, and I think it still is made out on Zavvi's website, that it's got a title up the top there and a title down the spine. It's got neither. It's just blank. There's no title on the spine, on the front, no title on the side. All they've done is throw in a cardboard wraparound. And a few people that messaged me actually said that they'd actually cancelled their orders after watching my unboxing. So I had a go at them, saying that it's trading standards, false advertising and all that kind of stuff. They were sticking by their word, you know, that it was artwork subject to change, which it didn't say that on the website. As far as we were concerned, that was the original artwork on the website that was going to come with the Steelbook. And all they could do, you know, because we're in lockdown phase, I don't want to package it up and go to the post office or anything like that. So they just gave me like 20% off. So I got it for the same price as a standard 4K, but I was disappointed. And I actually do prefer the standard 4K art now. So if that standard 4K one comes down in price to like 2 for $30, I'll probably pick that up with something else and then just sell the Steelbook. Bit of Sly Stallone cliffhanger. Pick this one up. This was in 2 for $30 deal as well, I believe. Brand new 4K restoration. Brilliant action film. Really tense scene at the beginning, hanging off these ropes over this cliff. And John Lithgow, just a really good villain. Just a really good villain. Totally different from anything that we see John Lithgow doing. and miles away from his performance in Third Rock from the Sun. Next up, we have an HMV exclusive, which I've put in one of my little containers, plastic containers. This is Knives Out, and this is the HMV exclusive E first edition. If anybody wants to know about these cases, usually these are for Steelbooks, but you can get thicker ones for things like Blue Fans. They do sell these on eBay. Various companies have them, but if you want to pick them up, then I would go to a company called Steelbook Central, who do have a website, but they also sell on eBay. So you can pick them up for all sizes, and they sell them in like either bundles of 10 or bundles of 20. I think a bundle of 10 is about £8. I picked up 20 of these. I think it was about 16 quid. So, and I've just had another load come as well. So that's where you can get them. Steelbook Central on eBay. But yeah, keeps it all nice and secure all the way around. Can't get scratched. Fantastic. And I've put a load of my Blue Fans in those, which you'll see when we get to about shelf 30. What's next then? Oh, yes. I should imagine a lot of people are interested to find out what I think of this one. Because I absolutely adore the first two films. Hellboy. This is the new David Harbour version. And I did get it on 4K. The trailer looked good. It's got Mila Jovovich ready to raise hell, and I'm interested to see how he's done Ron Perlman justice. You know, is he as good as Ron Perlman? But I will get round to watching that one because we've all got plenty of time to watch movies now. Next up is one of the greatest war films of all time, based on an incredible true story, starring Andrew Garfield and directed by Mel Gibson. This is Hacksaw Ridge. This is a stunning war film. Probably my second best war film of all time, behind Saving Private Ryan. But there are just some intense war scenes in that. Great emotional contact as well between him and his girlfriend or his wife. Next up, we have Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw. I did pick up the 3D for this one as well, which you'll also see in one of the later shelves. But this is a good leave your brain at the door action film. If you're going into this and you're a fan of Fast and Furious, you'll like it, because it's that type of thing. If you don't like the Fast and Furious films, you probably won't like it. One of the most underrated Steven Spielberg movies of all time, starring Dustin Hoffman and Robin Williams, The Brilliant Hook. This is a classic. It doesn't get as much praise as a lot of Spielberg movies. Like I said, it's underrated, but it's a really great fairy tale action adventure. Saturday afternoon popcorn movie. I can't say any more than that. Next up, a bit more horror. This is John Carpenter's original Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis. Now, I did see this. I thought it was good. I probably need to revisit it come October time. I might actually pair this up with the new Halloween, because I still haven't seen the new Halloween yet. But it was good from what I remember. But being 40 years old, a bit dated, because I'm brought up more on modern movies, but it's still a good film. But I will go back and revisit that one. Next up, we have a Disney Pixar movie in 4K. This is The Incredibles. And this only comes with the 4K disc, nothing else. No extras, bare bones. This is from Samsung Movie Lounge. This was, I found this advertised on Curry's PC World website months and months ago for £1, because this used to be included in 4K Samsung Blu-ray packages. So, you know, you buy a Blu-ray player, they throw a 4K in, but obviously they had some of these left over. People were looking at their PC Worlds and Curry stores locally. I found that my local one at Westwood Cross actually had 2 copies, and they were £1 each. So I did a reserve for them, picked them both up, gave one to my buddy Lewis, and kept the other one. But yeah, comes with no slip, doesn't come with any extras, no Blu-ray disc, just a 4K. But you can't grumble at that though, can you, for £1? Next up, we have a bit of dinosaur action. I might actually go back and start watching all these right from the very beginning, after watching MovieBug's recent worst to best Jurassic films. This is Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. This is the weakest of the saga. Call it a saga, I can't call it a trilogy anymore. So I think we're going to end up with 3 Jurassic Park films and 3 Jurassic World films, which is quite good, because we've got Dominion coming out sometime in the future. Yeah, the first half of this film was really good. Like the first hour, going back to the island, seeing the dinosaurs, escaping from the dinosaurs, the lava, and, you know, the volcano erupting. And when they got onto the boat, there was that, even James MovieBug said this, it was absolutely beautiful and probably the best scene in the entire film, where as all the dust and the lava and the smoke was coming down over this edge of the water, you saw the long dinosaur. You know, the one in the original Jurassic Park, the very first time we saw the dinosaur, the long-necked one that jumped up to get some leaves off the top. It's a dinosaur. Yes, apparently that is the same dinosaur that is on the edge of the river, from what I read. Kind of like wrapping it up. But it's such a sad scene. I did actually cry during that scene. It was so sad and so emotional. The rest of the film is... they go to this big house, like a big old mansion, the Addams family, cloning and an auction with the dinosaurs, and turns kind of like Nosferatu and Addams family. It's just about this big old mansion, but I see they were trying to go for something different, because there's only so many times you can set a Jurassic Park film on an island. But I think what they should have done, I think some of the dinosaurs that got loose, like the pterodactyls, you know, they could have actually gone to another city maybe, because right at the very end, the very last scene in this, after the credits, you saw a pterodactyl, or a couple of them, landing in Las Vegas on the Eiffel Tower in the Paris Hotel. And I always thought that that's where Dominion maybe start, but maybe they should have done that. Kind of like The Lost World. Was it San Diego, I believe? They did those scenes, but do it in Las Vegas, because they could have caused so much havoc on Las Vegas and it would have been really entertaining. Maybe we'll get to see that in Dominion. Right, going from one monster to another. So we're going from dinosaurs to a gorilla, or an ape, or whatever you want to call it. This is King Kong. This is Peter Jackson's King Kong. Brilliant film. Jack Black, Adrian Brody, great cast. Quite a long film. I think it's like 3 hours or so. Visuals are stunning. You know, this was after coming off of doing the Lord of the Rings movies. He was on a high. But yes, a really great film. It does also include dinosaurs. A really good fight between Kong and a T-Rex. That's worth the price of admission alone. Next up, we have one of the Kingsman movies, and this is Kingsman: The Golden Circle. Another one of those. These are the standard Steelbook ones that you could buy from Steelbook Central. And this is the HMV Exclusive. So really nice. A lot of people weren't too happy with the artwork. I thought the artwork on this is flipping beautiful. I love the comic book style to it. And this includes the 4K. Yeah, this has got the 4K, so it's a 4K Steelbook plus the standard Blu-ray as well. But I love these films. I love the Kingsman films. I'm looking forward to watching The Kingsman. I don't know what happened to that. Wasn't that supposed to be out in January or something? I can't remember. It's like gone off everybody's radar. Yeah, I have to have a look into that. I can't remember what happened to that one. But yeah, I'm looking forward to The Kingsman, or The Kingsman, which is a prequel. Next up, we have Knives Out with, well, just everybody that's on there. And I've been told this is an absolutely brilliant film. This is from Rian Johnson, that directed The Last Jedi. So maybe a lot of people were like hesitant as to whether this was going to be good if they didn't like Last Jedi. Me personally, I really enjoyed The Last Jedi, so I'm looking forward to watching that. And also Rian Johnson did a fantastic job with Looper as well. Another war film, another really great tense film. This one's more about a couple of soldiers that are stuck up the top of a like a ledge or a canyon, and they're being shot at by the local Taliban, or whatever you want to call them. With Mark Wahlberg, this is Lone Survivor. I think this is Peter Berg. Yes, this is a Peter Berg film. So really good tense action scenes in that. Great audio soundtrack with the bullets coming all the way around you. Great audio soundtrack. Next up, we have some Mission Impossible films on 4K we have a nice little box set there. This I managed to pick up really cheap. I can't remember how much it was. I think it was some stupid price. I think it was mispriced at like 15 quid or something. Such a long time ago, I can't actually remember. But I know I didn't pay full price for it. But this is a Mission Impossible 2, 3, Ghost Protocol and Rogue Nation, all in 4K in little cases. Don't know why there's one black and one blue. Oh, yes. They're the Blu-rays. They're the 4Ks. That's actually quite clever. I never would have thought of doing that. And then, of course, we've got to wrap up the Mission Impossible 4Ks by having probably the best Mission Impossible movie there's been. Yeah, Fallout. This was an absolutely incredible film. My buddy Lewis actually got to see this in 3D at the cinema, and he says the 3D was incredible. There is a 3D version available on Sky Movies, so I might actually watch that and see if I can be entertained by the 3D on Sky. It's not always brilliant, Sky, but this is the HMV Exclusive Steelbook, which I believe you still can pick this up. It's got 3 discs. No artwork on the discs, but it includes the 4K, the Blu-ray, and a bonus features disc as well. And both the 4K and the standard film are in Dolby Atmos. So if you've got a Dolby Atmos soundtrack, it's going to sound fantastic. Next up, another film which I actually missed at the cinema. This is Peter Jackson. I believe this is a Peter Jackson film, but I don't think it did as well as a lot of Peter Jackson films. This is Mortal Engines. And I haven't seen it, but as far as I'm aware, it's something to do with countries or something on platforms, or cities on movable platforms. So yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that. This is the 4K, 3D, Blu-ray and digital all in one. This is actually a French release. So as you can see, it's all French on the back, but I wanted this artwork and I wanted the 4K and the 3D all in one. Next up, we have part of the Matrix trilogy. This was sent to me by one of my lovely viewers. Thank you very much. This is Matrix, the first and best Matrix movie in 4K. So I haven't actually checked it out yet, but I'm sure it's going to look absolutely gorgeous with all that green. And next we have one of the Men in Black movies in 4K. I believe I don't have the other 3, but I have this one. So maybe I need to get the other 3. I do have a Men in Black Steelbook, which got all 3 films in. I think they're all Blu-ray though. This is Men in Black International at 4K. So this is the new one that came out, starring the Thor Ragnarok team. Tessa Thompson was really good in this. Chris Hemsworth was okay. He kind of annoyed me at times, the way that he was playing it. Kind of reminded me of his character that he played in the Ghostbusters female remake. I don't know what, Ghostbusters 2016, I think you call it. Yeah, kind of, in a way, sometimes a little bit immature, but still a good film. Nowhere near as good as the other Men in Black films, though. Next up, really good film I saw at the cinema with Mama Bowman and Papa Bowman. Great action film, Roland Emmerich, Midway. And I decided to get the US one on this because I love the artwork so much on that. It's got some nice reflection and silver foil, and I think that's a way better artwork than the UK one. 2 left. Mother. Yes, a recent flick pick choice. Really good film. Classic in my opinion. Jennifer Lawrence and Javier Bardem. Incredible performances. She blew it out of the park. And it's about this couple that move into this house. She starts seeing weird things and touching the wall and seeing organs and shit. And weird visitors start turning up. And it's kind of, she represents things. So not just her, but Javier Bardem. Everybody represents things. Like she represents, I believe she's Mother Earth, and Javier Bardem is God. So you have to look at it from like a religious point of view. But it was really good, really good. There were some difficult scenes as well. It's not for everyone, and I didn't think that I would like it as much as I did, but it was a gripping film. The last one has got a multitude of actors in this. We've got Kenneth Branagh, Penelope Cruz, Willem Dafoe, Judi Dench, Johnny Depp, Josh Gad, Leslie Odom Jr., Michelle Pfeiffer, and Daisy Ridley. Yes, this is Murder on the Orient Express. I watched this one late night. Fell asleep halfway through, so I think it was a little bit slow. So maybe I need to give it another rewatch. I think there is supposed to be another film coming out with Kenneth Branagh back as Poirot. Yes, but definitely have to give it another go again, because I think I fell asleep through Daisy Ridley's role. That's not good. That's not good. But anyway, so there we go. So there we done on shelf 2, the 4K shelf. So yeah, we're done on shelf 2. Shelf 3 is also a 4K shelf. So look forward to doing that one in a couple of days. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Like it by giving it some thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, comment and share. And I shall see you on the next episode of the Complete Blu-ray Collection, which will be shelf number 3. Bye for now.